Right. Thank you for joining, everyone. Hello and welcome to this webinar about Parallels Remote Application Server, the version 17, the latest release last month. And the topic of the day is how to have a cost-effective application delivery and VDI solution. Although the product is being sold in several countries around the world, this presentation is custom to the Turkish market to target specific challenges and requirements of the Turkish market. With you today will be myself, Ahmed Jahade. I'm the regional manager for Turkey and Middle East and Africa, and I will be accompanied by my colleague, Mr. Malcolm Aber, who is our lead engineer for Europe, Middle East, and Africa as well, including Turkey. And the topics of the day will include an introduction to the company. So we'll have an idea about Parallels as a company. We'll have an overview of the solution, Parallels RAS, which stands for Remote Application Server. We will have a look at the core features and functions. We will have a live demo towards the end of this session, and we will have an extended Q&A session in which we will try to answer some or all of your questions related to the presentation topic. You may have some questions or some comments at any point in the presentation. Please drop them in the Q&A box down below, and we will try to answer them as soon as we get the opportunity, probably either during the session or at the back of the session in the Q&A. I would like to thank you again, and I wish you a pleasant and useful time today during the content of the presentation. Parallels company is a market leader for the cross-platform solutions. So we provide a group of solutions that are well connected and integrated and covering a complete range of virtualization and cross-platform solutions, enabling customers to take advantage of all different technologies, combining the best of all these technologies for their related businesses. So as you can see in the picture, we have several solutions, including Parallels Desktop for Mac, which was a solution released in the year 2000. It was the first worldwide to enable customers to install Windows operating systems on Mac devices. Today, it has 90% of the worldwide market share in this sector. We have also other solutions like Parallels Toolbox, Parallels Access, which enables a fast and easy connection between a couple of devices. We have Parallels Mac Management for Microsoft, which is also a nice tool enabling network administrators to connect Mac operating systems to a Windows network and control them efficiently. But the solution that we will be discussing today is Parallels Remote Application Server, which is shortly known as Parallels RAS, which is the flagship product that combines and includes all the features and functionalities of all the other products. And that comes also at a very attractive value because it's close to the value of the other products, and it adds a lot more features. Today, we have over 5 million customers worldwide that trust Parallels and use it every day for their businesses. The list of our customers includes very shiny names, as you can see. So Microsoft themselves, Intel, Belkin, Apple, BMW, Tesla, Deloitte, Evergreen, very shiny names from almost every sector around the world. And they are market leaders for their businesses, and they all trust Parallels solutions for their corresponding businesses. We have over 50,000 businesses around the world, and that does not also include our channel partners, including Technology Friend, our sponsor for today from Turkey, who is our premier market partner for the Turkish market and some other regions as well. So this is how we manage to grow and cover larger areas by partnering with local companies and enabling them to be completely qualified technical support and commercial help centers. The solution Parallels RAS is probably known by some of you as 2X, which was a solution started in the year 2005 by a company called 2X, started from here from Malta, where we are having our presentation today. And the solution has been acquired in the year 2015 by the company Parallels, based in the US. And from there onwards, we have seen phenomenal growth. So only 1 year after the acquisition, in the year 2016, Parallels was named in IDC publication as a major market player, just after VMware and Citrix, although it was still a very small company by that time. Later on, by the end of last year, Parallels got acquired by Corel International, which is the 30-plus years old company that wrote Corel Draw, ClearSlide, WinZip, and a lot of successful solutions used by millions of customers around the world. Just recently as well, Corel International has been acquired by KKR International, which is also a multi-billion-dollar business operating worldwide. So that only gives Parallels access to more resources in terms of research and development, more market awareness because of coverage of several markets, and more integration with other solutions available in the market. Why Parallels RAS? So we have seen that the market has a lot of excellent solutions available out there in the market. So what makes Parallels RAS special? What makes Parallels RAS a preferred solution for these millions of users around the world? First is the vast majority, let's say, availability of different choices and options of implementing the solution over different devices. So Parallels RAS can theoretically be implemented on any device, anywhere, to access applications, desktop, data, and a lot of published resources from seemingly everywhere. It is easy to use, easy to deploy in the first place, so the deployment implementation project is really very quick and fast. And it's easy to run and operate and take it further from the moment you acquire the solution. The support is always provided on 24/7, 365, unlimited, no quota, no limits, no number of calls. And that also gives you peace of mind and easiness, because you don't have to be the technical master of the product. You just need to run the operation, and everything else will be taken care by the vendor and the local provider also in the Turkish market. The solution also offers pervasive security that secures your data. So by nature, virtualization solution provide you with additional layer of security by isolating the server environment with all the data and applications involved from the operating systems used by the users. So a user can be logged in from an Android device that does not have probably antivirus or any protection tools, but implementing Parallels RAS gives you this additional layer required to keep your environment secure and isolated. The solution also offers on-demand agility, and that is very much required in the Turkish market, considering the fact that the market is developing, options are increasing, and IT departments often try to keep their options open. So, for example, a company that has 20 users probably today will have plans to have 30 and 40 and scale up and merge maybe with another company. And that would be, with other solutions, very difficult to achieve, given that you have different options for different company sizes and different organization structures. With Parallels RAS, the solution is so scalable, so easy to expand, to add more servers in different heterogeneous environments, so you can have different environments running in parallel and you can expand as you go. Now, with all these features and benefits, you would expect that this comes at an extra cost. On the contrary, the entire solution comes at a reduced cost and complexity, which we will see in further slides. If we detail those benefits one by one, and I will not go in much technical details here unless we have any questions, The solution enables you to utilize client policy and filtration. So you will be able to reinforce the security, defining sets of rules, managing, controlling, and restricting setting options for users. So that gives you better control over your entire system as a whole. It still gives you granular access filtering based on IP address, based on user groups, on MAC address, and a lot of other choices to help you give the right resource to the right person at the right time without putting much of your data and information at risk. Solution also offers multi-factor authentication functionality, and for that we have a lot of options. Some of them are at extra cost, obviously, because they are from third party, but we also have multi-factor authentication options that are at very low cost or no cost at all, such as Google Authenticator, for example. We support Radius, Due, Forti Authenticator, DeepNet, SafeNet, and much more out of the box as an extra layer of security for your system. The solution also enables you to manage clients, limiting user activities on Windows PCs by transforming rich clients into kiosk mode. So you can run Windows devices in kiosk mode, and that will limit the functionalities that the user will be able to perform on that device, limiting the options, enhancing the security, and enhancing the productivity. From monitoring and reporting point of view, the system helps you with a very large group of ready-made reports that can be custom and can be modified to serve your special purposes. By the way, for that we don't need a database solution to save these reports unless you need storage, and even if in that case, if database is required, a free version of Microsoft SQL, for example, will do the purpose. So we try to keep things simple, cost efficient as much as possible. The solutions offers you a business on the move model. So it enables you to have a lot of different functionalities and options available out of the box straight away with a single implementation, which you can do on multiple phases as well. So you can do a full screen user experience on several operating systems and platforms. You can employ multi-cloud native gestures from different operating systems and experiences, virtual desktops, VDIs. We have introduced, for example, fast logon for larger companies, multitasking, printing, scanning, and we will come to details of all these options and features in following slides. So from the user experience point of view, our operating system, our client version of Parallels RAS is available today on a very good variety of platforms available in the market. The most common, in fact, so for Android, iPhone, Windows, Chromebook, Mac OS, Linux, and we also have HTML5 client, which means you don't need to install technically anything on the end user device. You can just run Parallels client through any HTML5 enabled browser, which includes almost all modern browsers. So that gives you 1, flexibility, 2, high performance, 3, very good user experience, because users now can use their preferred device. They don't have to be stuck to the desktop provided by the company, for example. If they have the right authority level, if you're not controlling by MAC address, for example, they can use their Android tablet or their Mac device, whatever preferred choice they have, they can go for it and have the optimum experience on that operating system. From IT point of view, from infrastructure and architecture point of view, the system is also very flexible, supporting different options. And here it not only provides you with flexibility, but also enables you to build on any investment that you have already made. So, for example, if you have Citrix Zen Server, VMware ESXi, Microsoft Hyper-V, Scale, KVM, or Acropolis hypervisor, you will be able to use the existing infrastructure and plug Parallels RAS on top of it and just start using it. So you don't have to do any extra investment around Parallels RAS to be able to go up and running. From RDS point of view, Parallels supports Microsoft Windows Server 2008, 2012, 16, and 19. From the operating system point of view, for VDI publishing, we also support Windows 7, Windows 8, and Windows 10. Solution also supports containerization, which is a solution for a lot of compatibility and some other related issues. And for that, we support Turbo.NET, Microsoft API as well. Hyperconverged solutions are also in the heart of our interest because of the growing nature of the markets. So Nutanix, HPE, Scale Computing, and Lenovo also offer today hyperconverged solutions and servers, and Parallels is tested and certified to work with these solutions out of the box. From cloud point of view, the system is ready to work with Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and a lot of private cloud solutions, including the solution provided by Technology Friend, our partner in Turkey. All that comes at a reduced cost. So again, you may be wondering, how are we able to still achieve a low cost, low price for the entire solution, reduce total cost of ownership, TCO? We do that by two means. In fact, one is we reduce complexity. So we try to make the system as simple as possible, keeping all the mandatory and required functionalities and nice to have as simple as possible for the end user to run and maintain. And we streamline also the workload of the IT department, and we reduce it by offering the 24/7 365 technical support from our end. So that cuts away all additional costs and additional expenses that you may have for other systems. So there's no annual maintenance fees, there's no technical support fees, nothing. And from the other side, the solution is also cost effective. So with clubbing everything in one package, we make sure to keep the total price also within reach for several sizes of companies. So all in all, we provide reduced cost, complexity, which helps us offer a solution that has no expensive add-ons. And by the way, we don't have any add-ons at all. So all features and functionalities that we will speak about in the following slides are already included in one package. So one package includes all the features, all the functionalities which you can choose to implement today or later, and you can mix and match whatever you need from our package. The solution also is able to scale up, scale out on demand, and it's able to reduce the complexity of your system. So you club everything in one solution. You don't have to worry about extensions and add-ons and integrations because you have everything in one platform, and that offers you a lower licensing cost. So let's have a look at the major features Parallels RAS offer, and in the following slides we will go into the details of these functionalities. Just wanted to highlight, for example, since we've been acquired by Corel, we have got a good support in terms of research and development, adding to the existing fund we had earlier, which enabled us, for example, in the version 17 to introduce over 200 additional functionalities and improvements to existing functionalities, and that took over 40,000 working hours, and produced a very nice collection of features, including, for example, improvements to universal printing, granular permissions, REST API integration, session pre-launch, which utilizes artificial intelligence and machine learning. And for this, we are one of the first solutions worldwide to introduce this capability and functionality. So we'll take these functionalities one by one, starting by the main functionality of the solution, which is application and desktop delivery. So using Parallels RAS, you are able to utilize RDSH, the Microsoft protocol, to do session-based application publishing, complete virtual desktop infrastructure publishing, and a remote PC functionality. So you not only are able to publish applications from your server, which is required at all times, but you also can publish applications from normal PCs. So if you have a legacy application installed on a separate device that is required to be accessed by other devices, you can publish that application from that specific device through the network to other solutions. Parallels RAS enables you to deliver applications instantly accessible from any operating system, as we have seen. All that can also be done with zero installation, zero client, so no need for any installation. You can run the client version of the application from any HTML5 browser. And the solution is cloud ready, which means you can now or later have another instance or have the entire system implemented over the cloud, and that will actually enable you also to utilize the benefit of scalability on the cloud. So you can go for the resources that you need today, and you can expand and add additional functionalities, additional resources to your system just on the move without any downtime. Solution also enables hybrid and cloud deployment options. So you can have multi-cloud, you can have hybrid solution where you have an instance on your data center and another instance on the cloud, which will serve also the purpose of high availability. For the HTML5, not only we give you the option to do zero installation client usage, but also we give you access to what will look like a portal for you. So you can white label your installation. So you can provide the solution over the HTML5 client with your company logo, with some published files that could be, for example, some circulation, some procedures, some shared PowerPoint slides, etc. And as we can see in the demo in the following section of this presentation, and that will also give you access to customize the look and feel of the solution interface for the end users. So for advanced users, for IT administrators and developers, we also have the PowerShell integration, which enables you to automate deployment and configuration of Parallels RAS, creation, killing of virtual machines, restarting, logging on, off. You can do a lot of automation utilizing the PowerShell tool. Load balancing normally comes at a separate price tag, which starts probably from $20,000 for simple systems from other providers of virtualization solution. Parallels RAS offers you the load balancing capability out of the box, free of cost, included in the package. It does not require any extensive configuration. It's just a simple configuration process from the single console that we have. And that is resource-based distribution of user sessions, memory, and CPU. From multi-factor authentication point of view, we support DeepNet, SafeNet, Radius, including Dual Security, Forti Authenticator, Tech Radius. We support Azure MFA, so if you're on Azure and you would like to implement the MFA solution, we also support it out of the box. And in the latest version 17, we started supporting Google Authenticator. For example, all what you need to do to enable Google Authenticator is to go to a drop-down menu and select Google Authenticator and you're ready to go. It's that simple and still very powerful and very secure. We also support smart card authentication for banking and sensitive businesses that require this type of authentication. Universal printing is more or less a printing management solution where you are able to plug and play. For example, if you are a salesperson, you have your laptop or mobile device sitting at the client side and you wanted to print a document from the system. So all what you need to do is to log into that to Parallels RAS client or the HTML5 as well, And then from there, you fetch that document, click print, connect to the local printer via USB, wireless, or whatever mean, and print directly on that local printer without the need to have this printer as a network printer or anything. You just redirect the printing to happen on the local device wherever you are. Client management is also another feature that lets you centrally manage connected PCs. So you can shut down, restart, message a specific user, and that will help you shadow running sessions. So if you have an ERP system in place, for example, and one of the users is having a problem entering an invoice or so, from the console side, you can log into that session and you can shadow that user until successful completion of that task. So you can imagine that the system will help you here as a part of a help desk tool, sort of. Solution also integrates with client policies, so it can integrate with the Active Domain, with Active Directory, which will inherit all the policies from the system and enables you to restrict settings by category, by display. You can manage the display, the connection, printing, scanning, local resources, shared drive, for example, and the same way you are doing today for your existing users. Notifications and scripts keeps you informed, keeps you alert to any changes, to any excess usage, to any unusual behaviors of the system, excessive load coming from whatever source. And you can utilize the out-of-the-box solution, or you can have additional notifications and triggers to keep you informed and keep your mind free for things that matter. To automate the process further, you can create, deploy, and remove RDSH servers and virtual machines on demand. So you can create templates so they don't book resources continuously from your systems, and these templates can be auto-provisioned as RDS host based on demand. So that gives you flexibility, that saves resources, and gives you very agile system. Containerization, as we mentioned, helps you mitigate compatibility issues, helps you streamline application provisioning, so you can provide different versions, different configurations over a simple application in different containers, for example. And for that, we have Microsoft Hyper-V and Turbo.NET integrations available out of the box. In version 17, we have introduced Session Pre-Launch, which simply analyzes and learns from the patterns of usage of each user of the system. So it tracks, for example, the usage patterns, which applications I access, which time, and which day, and how frequent and how often. And the system starts learning from the behavior of each user. And this artificial intelligence engine embedded in the system will help the server to provide the sessions and the published applications on the go for that user. So at the time he arrives to his office, the application that he runs usually is already pre-launched in the system and ready. So that, as you can imagine, provides the end customer and the user with a lot of satisfaction and a lot of productivity, because there's no time wasted here waiting for the system to load. For larger platforms and for larger customers having REST API integration, having a web portal, for example, from which they want to manage the system, we also provided integration with REST API, which allows the organizations to streamline their web services and orchestrate the parallel RAS operations from one platform. So you don't need anymore to go to the parallel RAS console if you already are managing your operation from a REST API developed interface. Granular permissions as well keeps you in control while giving everybody access to functionalities that they need to perform specific tasks and functionalities. That's very flexible, very scalable, and very secure. As we said, we can provide session-based application publishing. We can publish remote, we can publish shared folders, we can publish USB resources, printers, we can publish specific documents and drives, but we also can publish virtual desktop infrastructure, so complete desktops. And we have 3 modes of VDI, offering you again additional flexibility and control over your cost and your resources, because as you can imagine, these 3 options come at different starting and running costs and licensing requirements from the Microsoft side. So we have desktop-based VDI, we have server-based VDI, and we have session-based VDI. And for each of these options, the functionality is supported out of the box from Parallels RAS side. Our customers around the world come from different businesses, from different requirements. Some of them come from scratch. They don't have a virtualization solution available in place, but some of them, like Texas Tech University, are very demanding, and they had the Citrix XenHub, for example, in place for all their users, and they have learned about Parallels RAS and decided to convert. And we have here some of the testimonies which I can share with you after the presentation. By the way, we will share the complete recording of this session for those who joined us a little bit late. And in some cases, entities like University of Cambridge had an additional challenge that they didn't have a system in place, so they didn't have the supporting ecosystem, and they didn't want to spend and invest heavily on these surrounding systems, because what they wanted to achieve is to have an e-campus in place. They didn't have an idea about the portfolio of users. So some of the students were logged in from Windows operating systems, from laptops and laboratory devices. Some of them were logged in from iPhones, some of them from Android devices. And for that, they needed to cater for everybody and start from scratch, and they were able to adopt Parallels RAS solution. We have several other examples from the market, but for now, we will go for the demo part of the solution, which I will try to make quick and easy, and we can go maybe to this part again after the Q&A session if there is any questions or requirements for this matter. So, as we all understand, the majority of business users around the world probably utilize Microsoft systems, Windows operating systems from the server side and the client side mostly. But nevertheless, a lot of users prefer to use other systems like what I'm using here. I'm using a Mac device, and some of them will go for Android or other operating systems. So what I did here, I had Parallels RAS client installed on my device. So it's a very light, very small version of the client installed and available locally for every operating system. So everything I need to do to log into Parallels RAS from my operating system is just to click on I apologize. I think there was some problem with the picture from WebEx side. So I was saying I am using here a Mac device. The same thing applies obviously for all other supported operating systems. I have the Parallels RAS client installed here on this device, from which I can run all published resources. So as you can see here, I'm going to connect to our demo server, which is based on a cloud somewhere in the Netherlands. So what you will see today is two layers actually of image transfer. So I'm going to be connected here from Malta to the Netherlands, and you're getting the image coming from the WebEx transmission. So there will be some delay. Nevertheless, I hope you will notice how fast and quick. So I'm establishing the connection here. And as you can see, I have three groups of resources published here. Of course, you can regroup this. You can create your own folder, your own structures, the way mandated by your company and entity requirements. So we have three groups of resources here. So starting with the first one is operating systems or VDIs. So I have here, for example, Windows 10 and Windows 8 virtual machines available on the server, which I can use. They can be my desktop, for example. Double clicking on one of them. System runs in full screen mode. Because I'm an Active Directory user with single sign-on, I don't have to enter any username or any details. I'm directly logged into our network with Windows operating system. So I'm still working on my Mac. I have Windows operating system available. It looks and feels like a locally installed operating system. It's even faster because the processing is happening on the server, utilizing the server computing power. And I have all the beauty of Microsoft operating system and applications. So let me run here, for example, the Paint application, which is something I miss from my Mac device. So the point here was just to show you how fast and easy. Of course, this is a virtual machine. Once published to the user, it has everything that is included in this machine. So whatever application is installed on this machine is accessible for this specific user. You can have several different images or templates of virtual machines of different operating systems. You can mix and match infinitely, as we have seen in an earlier part of this presentation, Windows 7, 8, 10. You also have applications, so you don't actually have to publish the entire virtual machine if all that the user needs is, for example, Microsoft Office. So I have here, for example, two groups of Microsoft Office. I have Windows Office 2013 and Windows Office 2016. So both of these are available installed on the server and accessible for this specific user that I'm logged in with to operate. So you have the complete package of different solutions and applications. Again, let me run the Paint from this operating system. So what will happen now is that this specific application will run from the server operating system and will open in a separate window as if it was locally installed on this Mac device. We can also publish files. So again, you don't need to publish the complete desktop. You don't need to publish the application. You can only publish files. For example, here I have a PowerPoint presentation. So we have selected a little bit heavy graphic file, which has a lot of images, for example. And as you can see, it's fractions of seconds to load the PowerPoint presentation. The application looks and feels like it was locally installed on this device. And it's available for me everywhere on any device that I log in from. Closing those windows for now. So for an advanced user, this is nice. This is very good looking application. You have control over where you save your resources, where you save your files and applications. But for a user that wants more simplicity, you don't need actually to technically launch directly the Parallels client. All what you need to do, for example, if we go back to the desktops, if I wanted to have Windows 8 machine, I can create a shortcut on the desktop. As we can see here, I have Windows 10, Windows 8 as a link. I have Internet Explorer earlier done. So that's it. So the end user will only see an additional icon on his desktop. Double clicking this icon will run this specific operating system. As we said, this is the client version installed on this device, but I can also implement a zero client, which means I can log in from any internet browser. So I prefer using Chrome, but you can also use Microsoft browser. You can use Safari or any browser that actually supports HTML5. So all what I need to do is to go to the IP address or public domain or a web address that is published by the company, either through the LAN or through the internet if I have this publicly available. Enter my username, my password. If you have a password management solution as well, you don't have to remember that as well. Click login. The system is now checking in the backward and trying to find the Parallels RAS client, because as we said, it's always recommended to use the client rather than using an HTML5 browser. So it detected the client and it's asking me if I want to run through the client or run through the HTML5. So I'm canceling this just to show you the HTML5 functionality. Here we go. That's all what it took to log in again to the Parallels RAS server. I have again the desktops, the files, the applications. Let me quickly run the Windows 10 operating system. So we're running now the Windows 10 machine through the HTML5 browser. This obviously can be full screen. So I'm running a complete operating system right now through the internet browser without installing anything on this device. I can do this. I actually do this from my Android device, from my iPhone, and you can do it from any device as soon as you have the right credentials. So last but not least, as you can see here, I have Parallels logo, I have some slogan, I have the color scheme applied here. You can do the exact same thing on your own. You can have specific links, you can have your company logo, and that's what we call the white labeling, which is available again out of the box included with the solution. With that said, we go back to our presentation. So how does the process go? So if I have learned today that some or all of the features are of interest for my organization, so how do I manage to have the look and feel, or maybe try the solution on our on my organization platform or infrastructure? There are three ways to do this. We have a trial on the cloud, we have a trial in the box, and we can install the solution completely on your infrastructure. So if you have a server or even a live server that is similar to another live server that you will be using in the future, what we can do is we're offering 30 days trial of the complete system, all features, all functionalities for 50 concurrent users. And we're offering also technical support, free of course, without any pre-commitment for this period. You can either contact us for the support, or we can arrange for our local representative in the Turkish market to support you with their certified engineers to run this trial. With that being said, we come to the end of this presentation. I hope it was useful and you have enjoyed your time. However, if you have any questions, any comments required to be added to this presentation, please go ahead. I have a couple of questions which I will start answering right now. All right, so the first question is, do you require any other license to run Parallels RAS? And the answer here is yes. As we mentioned some point earlier in the presentation, we depend on Microsoft RDS protocol, Microsoft RDS. For that, we will need Microsoft RDS CALs, which for most of the companies is already available, but if not, that is an additional requirement, licensing requirement, and that's the only one. Is there any solution available in the market that does not require RDS CALs? Probably yes, but that wouldn't be a recommended thing, because if you lose the RDS gateway, then you are losing a lot of security. You're exposing your system to the external world, which we have seen in several areas is posing threats and actually realizing these threats very quickly. I have another question about the pricing. Our standard pricing actually for the product is available online. Our standard price of the product is $100, $99.9 per user per year, and that's always based on concurrent users, which is the number of users logged into the system at the same time. So if you have a company with 50 users, for example, the concurrent number of users could be 35 or 40. We can work with you to accomplish this. However, having that said, this is the standard pricing. For special cases, for special scenarios, for people who are moving from existing systems, for example, we have some competitive upgrade incentives to help you compensate for probably the losses of dropping out some other competitive solutions. That can be discussed on case-by-case basis. Our partner in Turkey as well have access to these promotional prices and can share these details with you. I wonder if any more questions are there. Partners in Turkey. Yes, we do have partners in Turkey. By the way, if you go to Parallels.com and select the Parallels RAS operating system, Parallels Remote Application Server product, under that you will find an area for partners, which will help you find your preferred partner in every single region around the world, including Turkey, for example. And you will notice that you have different tiers and levels of partners. In Turkey, for example, our premier partner is Technology Friend, helping us with many thanks to realize this session today. The contact details of the partners are available on our web portal, and you also can reach me out at any time at my email as@parallels.com. And obviously, we will be in contact with you after this session to have your feedback, your comments, your recommendation for future sessions. And obviously, we can help you customizing a specific solution or a specific presentation for your corresponding company, considering your requirements and your needs. All right, I don't see any more questions. I would like to thank you all for joining. I would like to thank Technology Friend, our premier partner in Turkey again, for making this happen. I would like to thank everybody that is saying thank you through the chat panel.